Okay, a good day. It is the afternoon, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, in the lunar cycle Matsi Kapiseki Sum, the frog moon. And I was just down at Fort Whoop-Up doing a bit of work. I'll talk something about that. But I've got my first real rattlesnake call of the season. And apparently this is a snake that has fallen into the control room on the 4th floor of the University of Lethbridge. So this is inside the building. There's a rattlesnake, and I'm gonna go pick it up right now. I don't know if this is locked or not, but...
No, it is. It's a juvenile.
Oh yeah.
Little guy.
Little guy.
We'll just wait a second.
Oh yeah.
Take a couple more pictures.
Sure.
And believe me, it was a challenge to keep everybody out of here. Oh, there's a snake. Everybody loses their goddamn mind.
Oh yeah. Excitement. Big excitement.
Every time I see you, you got a brand new box.
I keep experimenting with different things. A little guy.
And those ones are the more dangerous ones, hey?
Not necessarily. They all got the same venom. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and release this snake here where I think he probably came from, he or she. It's pretty hard to sex them when they're this young. It's just a snake that's going into its second summer, so not even a full 2-year-old snake yet. I think it probably came out of the dens here along the side of this concrete pad, and then moved its way up in here and fell down, dropped into the machine area of the university, so machine rooms. So yeah, let it go here, and got a picture of it for the database. Probably haven't seen it before since it's only just getting on to 2 years old, but I'll still check. And it's gonna start raining. This is a good time for you to get out of here and get shelter. There you go, Snakey. See ya. Back at the fort now, and just wrapping up my work here for the day, which has been the production of these 2 replica horse travois, Blackfoot style old-fashioned horse travois. And yeah, these have been probably 5-6 days in the making, really, when everything is said and done, because there was a day when I had to go out to the Hutterites, you know, to buy a cowhide. Took one whole rawhide from a whole cow to lace these 2 travois. So yeah, I remember, you know, driving to the Hutterites. I think I reported on that, and then the other weekend I was going to cut the rawhide into a, you know, one long strip, and that was the weekend that I got sick, that I was at the house, right? And so I couldn't get my work done that I intended to get done. Otherwise I would have been a little bit ahead. There's still some stuff that I have yet to produce here, and my deadline for this project was supposed to be tomorrow, but it's not all coming together. But I've got the hardest part done now, which are these travois. So yeah, I was gonna cut that strip, but then I got sick, and so I think the third day that I was sick, I went out in the garage and made some effort at trying to cut it, and I got started, and I went a little ways and everything, and then I started feeling nauseous again and went outside and threw up, and then I felt like I need to lay back down, and I did. But laying back down, I'd reported something on Facebook about how I got sick out there, trying to get back to work, and one of my friends, longtime friend Cass, he says, it sounds like a equilibrium type of a problem. If you've been nauseous for like 3 days like I had. And then I was thinking to myself, actually that morning when I was cutting that hide, I had only been wearing one contact lens. My one eye was bothering me, so I just put in one contact lens. So I was a little bit of disequilibrium going on there just from my vision. And then on top of that, I'm on the garage floor going around and around and around and around, cutting, making circles. And so it made sense why I got sick, I think, that third day working it. Got myself all wound up. It's like your mom says, don't get all wound up. Don't get all wound up. There's a reason. You get wound up, it doesn't feel very good. Unfortunately, like when you go to unwind, like I laid down in bed to unwind. I wish I could just turn, the equal amount of circles the other way, and it would all be balanced out and it'd feel good again, but it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Anyway, the next day, I think, after that, I got to cutting, and I cut the leather in one wide strip, one wide belt. And then I didn't know if I was going to use it that wide or narrow it by cutting that in half, sectioning that in half. I turned out to do the latter, and I stayed up last night till about 4 a.m. doing that. But yesterday afternoon I was out here. It was just beautiful, like gorgeous sunny day, and I was building, cutting these out of old teepee poles, and which is basically what they would have been made in the past, lodgepole pine poles. And cutting them with the saw and then roughing them up with the hatch with my machete. That machete I've had since I was about 17 years old, I think. Yeah, because so one of my high school girlfriends, she was from Colombia, and everybody carries machetes in their car down there, and her brother, just for self-defense purposes, wanted me to have a machete, so he gave me one. And I've been carrying that, using it as a tool, off and on here and there ever since. But it came in handy yesterday to kind of rough things out at the ends of the poles and make them, look like they weren't so much cut by a saw. Also, I got like this OCD where if I'm doing one thing and I'm doing it with my right hand over and over and over, in my mind I want to do it with my left hand too, because I think really my first grade teacher, messed me up. Because I remember distinctly, like one of my only memories of first grade was the day she had us all stand up beside our desks and reach up like we're reaching for the cookie jar, and she sees what hand you're reaching with, and she's like, "Oh, you're a right-hander, you're a lefty," And so she gave us all these labels, but I think I could have been ambidextrous, because I've been working as an adult. Like, it bugs me not to do things with my left hand if I'm doing them, repetitively with my right. So like yesterday, I couldn't help myself. I had to, use my machete with my left hand too, to try to kind of balance things out with the work that I was doing with the right. And I'm all right with my left hand, and I think I would have been better if I wasn't programmed as a kid to believe I was just a right-hander. Maybe they do that to us, and we only use half of our brain for the rest of our lives. conspiracy. Anyway, yeah, so today I came back out here and laced all these up. You know, make them look all nice, laced together like they would have been in the old days. But of course, if you look on the back side, you can see the real deal here. Screw hole. There's a screw there, you know. Had to really anchor stuff in. And I'm still trying to consider what I might do to kind of safeguard them from being mouse eaten. I'm going to have to spray them with something, you know, that might turn off the mice. Otherwise, all this, you know, $500 worth of rawhide or whatever is just going to go to feed the mice this summer. So, yeah, so this is the hardest part of my project. Now I've just got like a little meat drying station that I need to build, and a tripod with a cooking area below it, and you know, a little firewood stack. But I already brought a bunch of the firewood, so not too much more to do. Gonna set up the second teepee again. The film crew that was out here, they took down the teepee, one of my teepee sets out here, and then they put it back up. But they don't know what they're doing with teepees, so it blew right back down. Anyway, you know, compared to this guy here, is put him up 2 years ago, he's still standing. You know, you got to know what you're doing. You can't just throw a teepee up. Anyway, so this is the beginning of my season. I got my first snake call, so yeah, we're going live. Welcome back.